Today I've come to the seaside town of Littlehampton. This is on the south coast of the UK. The first impression is that this is a fairly modern cemetery. The stones are all of very moderate height. I don't see any grand or older style memorials here. Walking among the new memorials, I came across this one. I've not seen this design before, and this is dated 2004. And nearby is this one, and the inscription underneath just says, "Good night, our special little boy." Certainly give top marks to Littlehampton and the way they have kept this grass between the stones cut and neat. I certainly hadn't expected to find a memorial garden like this here. These are war memorial graves, and I am counting around 60 of them, beautifully laid out, grass cut, and flowers between them. The front row seems to be given a cross to German soldiers that died in the Second World War. It has the Iron Cross at the top. This one here is Hermann Hollmann, 1944. This one is Heinz Anskat. And just to the left, an unknown soldier, a German soldier. This one's to Erich Berger. This one is to Erich Dietrich. This one is to Johannes Gester. Those three all have the same date on them, 16th of December 1942. So maybe they were aircrew shot down. Behind the 12 graves of the German soldiers we have the British war graves. 4 rows here, around 12 in each one. And these ones are always very poignant. A sailor of the Second World War, buried the 4th of February 1943. It's just quite amazing that he was never identified. I guess nowadays we'd manage it with DNA, but not in the 1940s. Next to him is Pilot J.A. Clandillion, Royal Air Force. He's 28 in 1943. This is a South African pilot, IMT Dek Bocock, Squadron Leader, 1943, age 32. As I've walked along the rows of memorials, they are all flight crew, all to do with flying, mostly with the RAF. So this is 60 memorials to those that gave their lives. Further in, the graves are a little older and the ground a little bit less maintained, but still they're all accessible. A very elaborate one here, a modern. There are images of the people on the stone, on the bottom stone. And nearby is this modern and very elaborate memorial. Just inside one of the gates are these 3 very elaborate modern graves. Here amongst all the other graves is a war grave. Private E.A. Albon, Royal Sussex Regiment, 1947, age 24. And on the base, where the relatives can pay to have additional inscriptions, to my darling husband, forever in my heart, your loving wife Joan. Here's a war grave in a different colour stone. You do see these variations, but they're not very common. It's normally the white Portland stone. This one is to Private J.H. Silverson, Middlesex Regiment, 1918, just 18. That's terrible. So young. This column is something a little different, and the top inscription is Emma Maria, beloved wife of John Harvey, 1898. And close by is another one in the darker stone, and another 18-year-old, J. Gibbs, Private, Training Reserve Battalion, 1917, aged 18. This tall stone here has some interesting carvings. At the bottom it tells us it's Alice Annie, the wife of Harold William. She died in 1969. But as we move up the cross, we can see all sorts of insignia there. There's a couple there with two children. Somebody there, not quite sure what's going on. More children further up. He's trying to tell a story, but I don't think I've got it. There appears to be rabbits at the top, possibly 6 of them. This is a oval cut stone, and the name on it is to Frederick Adolf Meyer of Liverpool. Died 1909. This tall one, possibly the tallest and most elaborate we have here, is in the centre of a large plot demarcated by curbstones around it. The dedication at the foot of the memorial is John Butt, 1921, Harriet, wife of John Butt, and then Rhoda Lillian Butt. One here to Arthur Swetman, and either side of his name you'll see on the left hand side the symbols of the Freemasons, and on the right hand side the Star of David, and above we have this angel in a posture of praying, or at least deep in thought. This one here is to Catherine, widow of Charles Stuart Parnell. But the interesting thing, for those of you with a knowledge of Latin, is this inscription on the base. We have Betty Vivian, the daughter of Norman and Elizabeth Tennant. And on top we have this angel just gazing into the distance. We've got the grieving damsel with the flowers, looking very sad. And as we pan down we get the inscription, "Rest in peace, and then it's for Henry Perilli, 1953. Yet another war grave in the darker stone, and again 18 years old. J.A. Coley, King's Royal Rifle Corps, 1918, aged 18. This is something rather more unusual. It's an even darker stone used for a war grave, and it carries 3 names. Don't usually carry more than one. The 3 inscriptions are to all members of the South African Native Labour Corps. And it appears they all died on the same day, 21st of February 1917. I'm not going to try and pronounce those names. I'll close up a little bit so you can read them for yourselves. But 3 members of the South African Native Labour Corps. Well, I'm going to call that a day at the Littlehampton Cemetery. The thing is, you can always find something interesting in almost every graveyard you go to. Here for me it was the various war graves. First of all, the section with all the flying officers of 2 nationalities, and then the war memorials in a different colour stone, and then one we've just seen of the 3 South African Native Corps who all died on the same day and are listed on one stone. If you do get the chance, do come and visit the cemetery here in Littlehampton. Till the next time.